Hello, welcome to Something. I'm Dina.
And I'm DiAnna.
We are so glad you're here today.
We
And
are.
yeah, last week, this is a kind of a special episode, I think. I think you're really going to get a lot out of it. Last week, our 8/21, 2025 episode. If you're listening in the future, go back to August of 2025. You don't really have to listen to it first. It's not like a cliffhanger.
Preliminary. Yeah.
But we talked about fall reset, which is kind of the catchphrase all the kids are using these days. And it's embracing fall and using it as a time to make positive changes and start fresh again, which you kind of normally associate with spring, but we're doing it in fall too. And why not? And we talked about resetting your home, your fashion, and even your attitude. And I really enjoyed that episode. I think it helped me just to air my feelings because I'm not a fall girly.
But I am.
I know. That's what makes us a good team. It just so happens we are very lucky that DiAnna is a professional. She is an expert, many years experience um, as a injector.
Telling my age.
Well, no, not that. She started like when she was 5. Many years experience as first as a nurse at a children's hospital, which is just like the most giving and got to be gut-wrenching thing and most fulfilling thing at times that you could do for years. And then she went out on her own, took a chance, and started her own business at a MediSpa, which I'm sure is a lot more fun than it was, and maybe not so grueling. So we're so glad she did that. And I'm so glad because I met her years ago through a special, a Botox special. And we're so lucky to have the ability to pick her brain and hear from her today. So she's actually going to share, when she first joined the podcast, she said, Dina, I don't want to talk about what I do all the time. Let's talk about a lot of different fun topics. I'm interested in learning new things, but there's times when this is really the topic that we need to talk about that's really beneficial. And we're so lucky that you're willing to talk about work. Some people don't like to talk about work. I know
Oh
you,
gosh. My work is my passion. I love it.
that's great.
So,
So
mhm.
today we're going to talk about resetting your face. So it's fall is almost here, or it may be here if you're listening later. Everything is sweaters and pumpkin spice. And while we're settling into the season, our skin might be still holding on to that summer wear and tear, the sun, the sweat, the long days outside. It can definitely leave your skin looks like blah. So Diane,
Yeah.
tell us what to do about that. There's so many options and it's so scary and you're so confused and you don't know the terminology. So I'm hoping we can help you today. So Diana, take it away.
Yes, ma'am. I'm happy to. So today we are talking about fall is the ideal time for our skin rejuvenation. Actually, I recommend my patients to even wait if it's the spring or the summer till the fall, especially if you're going to plan something like a microneedling treatment or a laser treatment, because after those rejuvenation treatments are performed, it is crucial that you have no sun exposure because of the increased sun sensitivity that your skin is going to face. So, why fall? Well, it's kind of simple if you really break it down. It is reduced sun exposure. We have shorter days and we have weaker sunlight based on, of course, where you live. Also, it is cooler. So, not only is the air fresh and crisp in the fall, it's a bonus that the cooler temperatures can create a more comfortable healing environment for your skin. And then also, as we fall into fall, and we are always looking forward up to the next spring that we're going to come upon, where we want to look fresh and beautiful. So the treatments performed in the fall actually allow our skin ample time for the skin healing and your results to become evident. So let's dive in, if you will, with me to what the different options are, because as Dina had just referenced, there is now a multitude of different, goodness, lotions and potions. And have you been to any place, Dina, where you walked in and you were almost paralyzed because there was so many options?
Yes, definitely. And
Yeah.
there's always, this is the thing you really need. And then next week, no, this is what you really need. You don't need that. I'm just like, what? Am I supposed to
Yes.
use 10 bottles of something every night and every morning?
And that is confusing, especially if you don't have the knowledge that that you're armed with before you go into a place like that, because it can be paralyzing. It can also be, I guess, the paralyzation comes from intimidation because we don't know and we don't understand. So I'd like to break a little bit of that down today. So we are removing a layer or layers of the skin as we rejuvenate it. Sounds like an oxymoron, but really, if you think of the life of your skin, it does do its service and then it is sloughed off. So how are ways that we can, do that different? So first of all, there's chemical peels. Again, this is a basic that I would highly recommend to anyone who has never done anything for your face. If you're kind of feeling like Dina said, it's blah, means it's dull and it doesn't have any luminosity or glow about it. This, chemical peels can do a basic skin sloughing so that, again, you still can address your sun damage. Uh, Again, the brightness of the skin, you can see a gentle sloughing of the skin after the next couple of days. And there are different peels. You have everything from, all of you have heard of glycolic acid, salicylic acid, and then, of course, lactic acid. Well, what's the common denominator in all three of those? It's an acid.
I know, I know.
Dana, calling on you. Yeah. So, obviously we think of an acid as something abrasive, and there are pretty non-aggressive ones that I start with on my patients. And then we move up over time to a more aggressive one if that's what our skin calls for. But I love getting into it and having the patient have a great experience, meaning not a lot of downtime, not a lot of burning or uncomfortableness while the peel is going on. Also, if you have never had a peel before, you need to make sure that you learn what to do after the peel. It's called post care, which means after procedure. And so that's very important that the skin gets what it needs. And whoever is doing your treatment is very skilled at helping with what type of skin do you have. That's extremely important to know. Are you dry? Are you normal? Combination maybe. Do you have acne? Do you have eczema? Do you have a lot of these skin problems that are that require certain products that will give you a better outcome? So starting with just a light peel is a very good thing. Our next thing I'm going to talk about is microdermabrasion and microneedling. Prior to microneedling, pretty much all back when Dina and I were younger, we knew as microderm abrasion. And that takes the tiny crystals and sloughs off the skin. But when microneedling came onto the arena, it really was a game changer. I think that this is one of the things that I love personally the most for my clients as we get a little bit older in our, I'm going to say, 40s, 50s, 60s. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. But micro needling can really help with our collagen production, the texture improvement of our skin. And there are a lot of different microneedling out there. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But again, this is just kind of a broad spectrum of what there is offered out there. The next thing is our laser resurfacing and or IPL treatments. Again, this is a more aggressive treatment. It does treat extensive sun damage. Um, but again, I would say it is my choice, in my opinion, to take the less aggressive option available and then work your way towards what your final goal is. Do you agree with that, Dina?
I do, because it can be kind of scary and and you don't want to do more than you need to. I always think simple is the best, the basic is best. And if you're not pleased with the results, then go to the next thing. People always like, oh, I want to get it done. I want to change right now. And then you're a little too much. You look a little
Well,
scary. You can't go outside.
for those of us who have a little age on us, this is just a gentle reminder that our skin didn't get to where it is today overnight, and it is impossible. No matter what you do, even if you go so far as a facelift, doesn't do a whole lot for the skin surface other than pulling out the wrinkles, but you are doing something that can alter your face. And again, your face is the only one that you got. So
Mhm.
you can't go out and buy any more. But again, the less aggressive options and gaining yourself the knowledge of what is your skin. Is it sensitive to a certain product? And again, your therapist can help find, what is right for you. But I highly suggest as we are each with different skin types that you certainly find a reputable place that even make a consult. If you're afraid, like Dina says, just go in, just hear it out, and even maybe go to one other place and see if the two of the information kind of make sense and balance each other out. What do you think about that, Dina?
I agree. I agree. I think people maybe have a tendency to shop convenience and price rather than experience. And I mean, like you said, this is your only face. You can go get cheap toilet paper now and then, but this is your face. And I've seen horrible things, online where I mean, people put things on their face that should not be on their face, and it's raw and it's scars, and it's just really scary. So
It is, and we all want to look good and just know that you can without going to measures that are beyond what your comprehensive, education is, meaning you're trusting the person that's actually selling that to you to be honest with you about your face and what your needs are. So,
I think I would be
hopefully,
prefer to get somebody who starts me out small like you do, rather than say, well, let's go for it. Let's do this is the most expensive now, but it'll really get your face, whereas you would say, well, let's try this first and see if you're happy. Because you might be happy with the mildest form. You don't know what it'll do. You
everybody's happy is a different level. So,
can
we're
always
we're
do
sent.
more, but you can't undo it.
You've heard me say that too much. So let's start with some basics with our education. Number one, we said know your skin type. Perfect. Number two, necessary skincare routines. And so, what does that consist of? Well, first, let's find a gentle cleansing that will remove the residual of your makeup. And it also can, whatever type you choose, can help with the summer buildup without, stripping the skin or doing a lot of massive changes. Next, we want to use hydrating products, and that means incorporating like a nourishing serum with good quality ingredients like hyaluronic acids, antioxidants, a rich moisturizer with ceramides. There's 1,000 things on the market. Again, do your research, see what ingredients there are and what does your skin like and not like. Of course, we've all heard of retinol. And obviously popular too is that vitamin C, which both of those are great for brightening the skin, just helping that dull layer slough off slowly. Again, be careful with the retinols and the vitamin C. They can be too abrasive for your skin. Like if you are having breakouts or it's itchy or red, that's your skin talking to you. And I know you're going to all call me crazy, but trust me when I say that when you learn your skin, it will talk to you if you listen.
Hmm.
And listening helps you prevent a lot of things in the future. So if you try your retinol and it's too aggressive for you, you can either do instead of every night, maybe do twice a week, or you can also cut that with your moisturizer What do I mean by that? You put a pump of your retinol, you take your moisturizer and you mix it in the palm of your hand, then you put it on your face. It's
Oh,
a
that's a
little,
good idea. Yeah,
yeah, it's a little less aggressive, but hey, we're still getting to the stop sign eventually, right?
right. Caution, caution.
Again, if you do or if you don't have a skincare regimen, don't think that you're the Lone Ranger. I hope you know that life is busy, and even those of us who have a very regimented routine that we stick to and we do not deviate from, sometimes we still find our skin. Like you came to me the other day, Dina, and you said, "DiAnna, my skin's just looking dull. I've been taking care of it, but my skin's just looking dull." So this is the time of year where that's kind of normal.
Yeah, if you think about it, if you keep slapping that stuff over your skin without resurfacing the skin first, it can't even get to you, and you're just treating dead skin, right?
Absolutely. And I tell people all the time, you can pay $200 for a very small, tiny bit of some type of serum. If you're putting it on dead skin, you're kind of wasting your time and your money.
Hmm.
So, again, your skin is a something that needs to be healthy, needs to be even thought about at the cellular level, which we'll break that down a little bit. And that way you have a healthy, cell base to where you don't have as many breakouts. Perhaps it does, equalize your skin out and you have a more normal skin tone. But again, life gets busy. So I am at minimum, ladies, let's wash our face at night or have at least those cleansing wipes that you can get everywhere by the side of your bed. And if you fall in bed half asleep, you realize you haven't washed your face, that is a very handy little tool to help, remove your makeup and clean your face at the same time.
Yeah, you were talking
Do
about listening to your skin. My skin's always like, Dina, don't go to sleep with makeup on. I'm like, I'm too tired. But yeah, if you keep it on your nightstand, if you can just reach over and kind of grab it, that's not great, but it's better than the alternative of grabbing.
Yes.
But
And you know
people
what?
don't realize that
Take
makes
it.
your pores bigger, right? When you go to sleep in
Correct.
makeup and
Yes.
big pores look makes you look older, I think.
That is correct. Absolutely. And one of the last things for just our basics is, of course, our sun protection. There's not a lot of things in this world that we can control. We can't control the environment and all of the bad things that we breathe and that we're exposed to, but you can control your amount of sun exposure if you put your mind to it. I have sunscreen in my bathroom, my husband's side. I have it in my car. I have it in my purse. I have it at work. I pretty much have it. We have it in our golf bags. We have it everywhere. And, make sure you, if nothing else, please dedicate yourself to that because skin cancer is real.
Yeah, I put sunblock on my face every day, even if I'm not going to put on makeup, and even if I'm not going to leave the house, and even if it's cloudy outside. It's just like my routine. If I don't do anything else, that sunblock on my face goes, sunscreen on my.
Then that makes me happy.
Yay!
So let's talk about how does the skin rejuvenate itself. So this happens by stimulating our body's natural healing and rejuvenation process. And so again, as we talked, this involves replacing old, damaged skin and cells with new ones. So everybody likes something new, right?
Yeah.
Even ourselves. So when also, skin rejuvenation increases our collagen and elastin production.
Oh.
So, oh yeah, this improves our overall skin texture and the tone. These essential proteins provide, structure, firmness, elasticity to the skin. I could just go on and on. Your collagen and elastin production is one of the biggest things that helps me as a provider help you. Why? Because your skin is back to working as it should and producing collagen and elastin. So when we can get if you're old enough to the point where you feel like your face just isn't the way it used to be in your 20s or your 30s, well, welcome to decreased collagen and elastin production. So it causes, thin, crepey looking skin almost.
Mhm.
And this is all over our body. This is not just for our face, right, Dina?
The
We've
fun
done
little armpit thing. You look down at your armpit and you're like, whose is that? What is that under my arm? That's where I get.
Yeah, and are you paying the rent or what? Just hanging out down there. Uh, our aim and our final goal is to promote new cell growth and the creation of just a more youthful skin layer. And our skin obviously naturally kind of sheds itself off. It takes a little while, but it will shed off old dead cells from the surface. Then those are replaced with fresh new ones. Usually, this happens every kind of average, they say 28 to 30 days. There are times where you can probably look in your bed and see some, I don't know,
Yeah.
what's that, debris, whatever to call it. And it's like, where did that come from? Well, that came, from you. So, usually our cells are accelerating, and that whatever option that we decide to use on our face is not necessarily what we can afford to use for our whole body. But
Yeah.
if you have your hands bother you, you can treat the skin on your hands for the dark spots. Also, the neck. Please never forget about your neck and your chest area, especially us females. Again, we need to help with that 28 to 30-day process of turning over those cells. So again, we are just accelerating that process when we do the rejuvenation, series. As far as, for cosmetic, this is a little more aggressive treatments for rejuvenation. These intentionally damage the skin in a controlled way to trigger a more robust healing response. What am I talking about? I'm talking more on the line of microneedling and your laser treatments that are out there. So again, we are just increasing the acceleration of you looking better and better every single day. When you do, start with a chemical peel and then learn your skin and get a good skin routine, all those kind of things we just mentioned. I did want to kind of break things down as Dina has been my patient for a really long time now.
Mhm.
So she has given permission for me to ask her questions and give information about treatment, options that we've chose for her. And again, our first thing, Dina, was a chemical peel. So let's break chemical peel down. Chemical solutions are applied to exfoliate and peel off our outer layer of skin, again, revealing smoother, brighter appearance and less wrinkles on the skin up underneath. And again, there's gentle to aggressive to super aggressive peels. So, Dina, when you and I first did your chemical peel, and it was a light glycolic peel, what do you remember? What was your experience?
I was nervous because I didn't want to look like a snake, shedding my skin and hiding out. And you put it on my skin and it actually, I don't remember it feeling maybe a little tingly, a little stimulating later on during the day. Um,
Mhm.
but it was actually felt kind of moisturizing and was nice on my face.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then in a couple of days, I really only, I felt like my whole face was going to peel off. It was just a little peeling around my nose and maybe between my brows. And I know that it exfoliated, but it wasn't like massive skin peeled off. I was able to
Right.
put on sunblock and, go out in a couple of days and I didn't scare anybody off. So my makeup went on so much smoother. My pores looked
Right.
smaller. I really loved it. It felt more soothing than anything. I was kind of shocked. Of course, you said it was a mild that you did, right?
Correct. Correct. We always start with a mild. So I love that you gave through that. And would you have repeated that experience again? Is that something that I know we've done other things, but if you were encouraging someone for the first time, again, a first peel, as she has referenced, does not take off as many layers as we need to get to the final outcome of a brighter skin. Again, a less aggressive peel is going to help get off that top part, but the more chemical peels that we did began to get a little more aggressive. We don't get too aggressive, but Dina, would you encourage people to do a chemical peel?
I absolutely would, and I think that's a great place to start, like you said, because the word peel and chemicals, they might should rename it because chemical and peel is kind of scary. But I would just encourage you to, I mean, everybody's skin's different, and maybe do a little test or whatever, do some research. But it was just a pleasant, very satisfying experience with results. So yeah, I think that's a great place to start myself.
Awesome. So our next thing we're going to talk about is microneedling. Let's break that down. Those are tiny needles that create, again, the controlled micro injuries, which triggers your skin's healing response and boosts your collagen and elastin. So our chemical peel doesn't get down that low. It doesn't have the ability to penetrate at the depth as a microneedling. Again, people hear needling. Well, that means
Ouch.
needles, which totally scares people off. But once we've done a treatment, obviously we numb the face, and it's not something I would want to do all day, but I can endure that just on my face, neck, and chest in order to be able to just have a more radiant and glowy look. And that is what you will get with microneedling.
Mhm.
Microneedling's come a long way. So Dina, let's go back to a few years ago when we did the microneedling for you with the pen and your experience with that.
Is that what I call the devil's wand?
It is.
That was just a
Yes.
joke, really.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that, but
Cut
yeah.
it out. Well,
No, it's cool. Be honest. I want you to be
okay,
honest.
there's a sound, that it makes, and you know what it's doing because you educate people on what you're about to do. So it's kind of almost like when you're at the dentist, you're not really feeling what you think you're feeling. It's your imagination, you know what's happening, and it's
Right?
a little scary. And the sound, like the sound of the drill. But and it feels like, I don't want to describe it as like a rubber band kind of hitting, because that sounds like horrible if somebody kept hitting you with a rubber band, but maybe like little tiny rubber bands you put on your braces. And some areas are more sensitive than others, and when she says she numbs you, she doesn't give you shots in your face like a dentist. She puts a numbing cream, so that's
Right.
not painful at all. So um, I did it more than once, so I came back. Let's put it that way. I'm not the one.
Because you liked the results.
Yeah, you forget about, it's like it doesn't traumatize you the rest of the day. And the minute you stop doing it, it stops hurting. It stops that. So I don't even want to say hurt. It's just like you say, uncomfortable.
Comfortable.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Hold on. But and DiAnna, I'm sure different people do different techniques, but she'll ask you, are you okay? You want to take a break a second? Or she'll say this area might be a little more sensitive, like when there's more bone than cush, it's a little more sensitive. But
Yes, we
I,
have
several
places
times.
where our fat pads on our face kind of have a little cushion. Forehead is, of course, the worst. We don't
Right.
have much cushion up there.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, I don't have a tattoo, but I would say that it's less painful than getting a tattoo.
I don't have a tattoo either, so
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
well, I guess I do. I have the cosmetic permanent
Oh,
makeup,
yeah, I
so I
do
guess
too.
you can think
Getting my
that's
lips tattooed hurt much worse than that did.
oh, yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. Well, our next thing we are, using is IPL or laser treatments. These are the more aggressive that remove discoloration. They reduce the appearance of wrinkles by targeting specific cells. So there are, a number of different of those out there. I'm not going to go specifically into those, We do not use a laser. We do not get that aggressive, but I do support the use of those as long as you are going to a obviously a doctor who has a good reputation and look at the reviews and talk to people. If that comes to the point where you need that, I hope you are experienced enough and armed with the education to be able to understand, what it is, why it is that you need that treatment. Why couldn't you do, say, a series of microneedling? And why couldn't I do, combine the chemical peels with the microneedling? There's a way to combine these things and it still be safe and healthy. Um, but my actual personal favorite is radio frequency microneedling. You may see, if you look that up at the internet, it's called RF microneedling, but that's what that stands for is radio frequency.
Okay.
And when we pair microneedling with the radio frequency, which uses heat energy, with that microneedling technology, oh, it's all in one. It is fan flippin' tastic. I love it. And it has changed the surface of my face. And I will always be a RF microneedling fan. And you can talk to the majority of my patients, and they are as well. It is, in my opinion, a game changer for your face.
Wow. Okay.
Um, so again, while microneedling alone by itself does help stimulate collagen, the addition of the radio frequency can make such a big difference. Regular micro devices do not penetrate the skin as deep, and they only reach the more superficial layers of our skin. And no radio frequency thermal energy is delivered into the skin like it is with RF microneedling. So, again, you have benefits of both, but to get the most radiant, glowy, brighter skin tone, smoother skin texture, significance improvement, even in wrinkles and scars and stretch marks, your RF microneedling is where it's at. Dina, you go because you've had several of these.
Yeah, that's worth the price of admission for this show, just finding out that that's what you endorse and love. Yeah, I think that's where I saw the most results
Hmm.
myself. We
Yes,
kind of built our way up, and I think, if I was going to get one treatment, now that I'm experienced with it and I know what my skin, how my skin reacts, and I've gotten older, that's what I would choose, I think, too.
I agree, especially for skin that has been, here a minute. It
Yeah.
really
Seen a
does
lot of
help.
things.
Yeah, I've been here a minute. It really, again, we can't control the environment and some of the things that we were exposed to. And then, of course, we were at the generation where we used Panama Jack, and Crisco and all kinds of crazy things to get as much sun damage as we possibly could. And back then, your skin could rebound.
Yeah.
As we age, it doesn't have that ability to rebound. So, I mean, face it, when we like what's looking back in the mirror, we can change everything in our life. We walk taller, we dress better, we eat better. I feel like we treat people better when we feel like our presentation is good and we're proud of ourselves. And if you are anywhere from 18 to 80,
Mhm.
we we all need proper skincare. And society now places a great emphasis on beauty. Just face it, the beauty industry is booming, and I really don't think it's going anywhere. And as we talked in the very beginning, there are a lot of great facial products out there. There's a lot of treatment procedures. So, thank you for listening to this episode, but please do your research, increase your knowledge about your skin and the best treatment options for you. It's never too late to start taking care of your skin, so start today.
Yeah, no time like today. Diana, that was so nice of you to share all that knowledge. And I'm sure people picked up a few tips, and I'm sure some people have questions. And in the past, DiAnna has very generously said, email us and ask me your question, and I'll answer it on an episode and give you
Yeah.
my opinion. So she would love to hear from you. So we hope you enjoyed it. We're so glad you came today and you support us. We love all you guys. And if you enjoyed this episode or learned anything, give us a follow or a review, leave us a rating, and share it with a friend. There may be a friend who doesn't listen to podcasts that you can say, here, listen to this one. If you don't listen to any other episodes, listen to this one. Do that. It really helps us grow, and we can continue to bring you more conversations like
Yeah.
yeah. And then Sunday we will have another Giggles and Gratitude where we talk about our week, and Dinah does great devotions and inspirations for you. And well, in the meantime, just cozy up with your pumpkin spice and your sweater and your new beautiful skin.
And your new beautiful skin. We love you guys. Bye bye.